OMRA Grand Prix Series and decided to head out and have a little fun at Eddieville. We were just there a couple weeks ago for the 6-hour team race, and I had a good time, so decided to go out again and see what we could do, and ended up getting there a little less time than I would have liked, but kind of had to scramble around getting dressed and changing the front tire and going to sign up and saying hi to a few people before the start of the race. And I had a front tire on from when I first got the bike, and the side knobs were all starting to get chewed off, so my dad and I met up before we came over today and grabbed a new tire from his, a newer used tire from his shop, and put that on before the race. And I'm really happy I did, because the bike was definitely handling a lot better than it was at the end of the race a couple weeks ago, with the front tire being able to hook up in the corners. So headed down to the start, and they did a behind the bike, straddle your rear fender, dead engine start, so you had to hop over the fender and start your bike. And I ended up getting a pretty good start. I got the whole shot, and then I kind of got shuffled back right off the bat. I don't know, I was riding pretty tight for some reason, and I got passed by a couple guys, and I was in fourth for a while, with Rory Sullivan out front, and then Kenny Worley and Blake Babcock in front of me. And then I even saw Chris Conway's wheel poke in on me once or twice before we got out of the motocross track section. But by the end of the moto section, we got out on the GP course again, and I got myself into second, got past Blake and Kenny. But by that time, Rory had already kind of opened up a big lead. He was riding good right from the start, so I didn't really get to do much riding with him at the start of the race, unfortunately. But so for the first 2 laps, me, Blake, and Kenny were all pretty much the same distance apart. I was maybe 10 seconds ahead of Kenny, and Kenny was maybe 10 or 15 seconds ahead of Blake, so we were relatively close. And I still didn't feel like I was riding really that well, but you know, just took some time to loosen up. But at the end of the second lap, I got a flat rear tire, which was kind of a bummer, because I was just kind of starting to find my groove. But came in, tried to put a spare wheel on the bike, but the person who was going to let me borrow the wheel, it had a 48 tooth, or sorry, a 52 tooth sprocket instead of a 50, so we ended up kind of scrambling around looking for a new tube, and we ended up just putting a new tube in my tire and going from there. But by the time I got going again, I had lost about 15 minutes just monkeying around trying to find a new tube and messing with the wrong tire size. So got going again, and then I really started feeling pretty good, and I was able to get behind Rory with 3 laps left, and I took off about a minute behind him, and I kind of started reeling him in just a little bit at a time, here and there, just kind of different spots. He probably wasn't charging quite as hard because he had a pretty good sized lead, but then on the last lap he ended up getting a flat front tire, and I was kind of able to unlap myself, I guess, and just kind of cruise into the finish. I don't know how many people I was able to make, how much time I was able to make up and pass guys on the way in, but I think I ended up like 6th or 7th. So not a great day, but I rode really well and I had a lot of fun. Just kind of unfortunate about the flat tire. So hopefully we'll be able to come back at round 2 next weekend in Prineville and Bend, over by Bend, and a little more my style of racing, a little rockier, and should be good. I want to thank my sponsors who have helped me out so far this year. Motorsport Hillsboro, Single Track LLC, PBI Sprockets, Enduro Engineering, FMF, NV2 Suspension, and Steely Flywheels for all their help. So thanks a lot, guys. I'm looking forward to continued support throughout the year.